Yeah.
Yes. So we're moving up, or we're getting somewhere in terms of quality for our review-a-thon here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. My next
Uh,
one,
are we about to stumble over?
we might be stumbling over a little. Yeah. So my audiobook that I did was I believe this was William Shatner's first Star Trek novel, which is called The Return. And by the way, this is not canon, so so so
So
don't.
he literally got paid to write Mary Sue fan fiction about how no, I didn't really die at the end of
Generation.
Generations.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Well, he did have help though. He it was also co-written, or at least partially, whatever. I don't know what role they had, but Judith and Garfield Reeve Stevens also worked on this novel with Shatner. I think they helped him out with the lore and the characterizations and stuff. But yeah, so I listened to the audio version of this, and I think it was abridged because this was only like 3 hours.
That's pretty short.
Yeah. So, but I got the gist of the story. It's not like, um, I probably didn't miss anything by not reading it, but yeah. The story takes place about a month after Generations. They're salvaging the saucer section of the Enterprise D, and Riker is overseeing it, and Spock is there to recover Kirk's remains that were buried on Veridian 3. Um, but then the salvage site gets attacked by the Romulans, and of course the whole attack is a diversion so that the Romulans could get uh, Kirk's body, and they bring Kirk back to life. The Romulans bring Kirk back to life using Borg technology.
So Daniel, if the Romulans can do this, why wouldn't they do this for their own soldiers or people?
Good question. Yeah, well, yeah, because part of the story is that the Romulans and the Borg start working together to destroy the Federation.
That seems very un-Borg-like.
Well, that's the other part of it too, is that the Borg are just like, yeah, we're just using the Romulans. We're going to assimilate you eventually.
Now, is the Borg queen in this at all?
No. Yeah, so this book came out in 96. I think
Okay.
it came out but just before First Contact.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so uh, then the other part of it too, the other part of it is Picard and Crusher go on this secret mission to a starbase on I believe the planet was called New Titan, and it's been assimilated by the Borg.
Okay.
And so Picard and Crusher go on this Borg ship, and I'm trying to remember what they were, because they really I don't want to get too far into the weeds with this, because like I said, it's not canon, and they Shatner took a lot of liberties with some of the lore. um but yeah, so Kirk gets brought back to life, and uh, the Romulan commander that does it is the granddaughter of the Romulan commander from the original series episode Balance of Terror.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and okay, this is where it gets really weird. Um, they end up becoming lovers, and not only that,
No.
not only that, uh, her former her old boyfriend is working with her, and he's been assimilated by the Borg, and she's literally cucking him as he's in the room with them. His Kirk is cocking. I'm like,
So this is literally his self-insert fan fiction.
yes, yes, it is. Yeah, it's oh god, yeah, oh yeah, and oh, and he's so like everybody is just and the way the characters are is just so they're so out of character. Like Riker is just a very uh, uh kind of childish.
Oh.
Yeah, they he's and just not really very un-Riker like. And then you have Data who still has his emotion chips turned on, and he acts like a moody teenager.
Okay, that's actually that's somewhat in keeping with how they were treating the movies. So that's
Yeah.
can't fault them
Uh,
there.
right. And of course, and Spock is there's whole thing with Spock where, okay, this is something else they retconned in the motion picture. V'ger, the Voyager probe that uh, found by a race of machines, and then was sent back to Earth. Well, guess what? The race of machines were the Borg.
That as far as weird retcons go, that isn't necessarily the most outlandish one.
Yeah,
I could have actually seen them making that connection in the show.
yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't, but they it was on the table.
Right, yeah. But here's the thing: like when Spock mind melded with V'ger, he like got partially assimilated.
So in all of the movies past the first one,
Mhm.
as well as his appearances in the Next Generation, he's a little bit Borgified.
Yeah, yeah. According to this novel, yes.
Wait, even after he died and was brought back by the Genesis device,
I guess so. I know. I don't know.
does that mean that Bones was also partially assimilated since he was carrying Spock's soul, basically?
Well, I'm not saying that they thought this through. It's just, but but yeah, this uh, the at least the audio version of it is it's entertaining enough to listen to. I don't know if I necessarily want to go and read the actual book to get some of the gaps filled in, but yeah, and it might be the other reason it's probably abridged is because Shatner did the narration.
Right, you're not going to make him sit down and read it for 8 hours.
Right. Yeah. So, and his narration is actually pretty funny because he's like, um, because every now and then he'll try to do a character's voice,
Oh no!
like he'll try to do Patrick Stewart,
Oh
and
no!
it just sounds bad.
That sounds like it's worth the price of admission right there.
It kind of is, yeah. But yeah, what's weird is he'll try to do it and then he'll just like stop halfway through.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, it was entertaining enough to listen to. But the story is just, yeah, it's so, yeah, like you said, what you'd say at the beginning of the show, it was Shatner's least expensive fan fiction.
Yes, the most expensive being Star Trek Five.
Yeah.
So, so it does kind of show you the thought process he has, especially because I would imagine that for a book series that's non-canon, he's going to have less oversight than he did for that movie. So this is id even more unchained.
Oh yes. But yeah.
Well, it sounds like it was at least entertaining.
It was, yeah.